Picture this. A quiet London evening, the kind where Buckingham Palace's golden gates glow under the city lights. Suddenly, a document surfaces, a DNA report that threatens to shake the very foundations of the monarchy. The paper is stark, clinical, undeniable. And the name at the center of it? Prince Harry. According to this bombshell revelation, Harry's biological father is not King Charles III, but rather James Hewitt, the man long whispered about in hushed tones, tabloids, and drawing rooms across Britain. But before we continue, please subscribe, like, and turn on the notification bell for more updates. Is it scandal? Is it betrayal? Or is it the truth finally clawing its way to the surface after decades of speculation? Grab a seat, because this story is about to take you on a roller coaster ride of history, whispers, betrayals, and the shocking consequences of a DNA test that could change everything. The whisper that never died. Let's rewind. For decades, royal watchers and skeptics alike pointed to one undeniable similarity: Harry's striking resemblance to James Hewitt, the dashing cavalry officer who once had a highly publicized relationship with Princess Diana. The rumors were fed by cheeky headlines, side-by-side photos, and whispers that refused to die down no matter how many times they were officially denied. Harry himself brushed it off countless times. Diana, before her untimely death, went on record to say that she and Hewitt met only after Harry was born. The palace dismissed the stories as tabloid nonsense. And yet, the rumors lingered. Why? Because speculation loves oxygen. And the idea of a secret royal paternity was simply too juicy to resist. Now, with alleged DNA results surfacing, the whisper has turned into a thunderclap. But here's the real question. What happens when whispers suddenly become proof? DNA, the silent truth-teller. In the age of technology, DNA doesn't lie. A swab, a vial, a lab. And suddenly centuries of heritage, power, and prestige can be upended in a matter of minutes. The supposed DNA results claim with 99.9% certainty that Harry's biological father is James Hewitt. If true, this revelation doesn't just rewrite Harry's story. It potentially rewrites the royal lineage itself. Could this mean Harry was never truly a Windsor? Would this strip him of titles, honors, or even his place in the line of succession? Or, perhaps most intriguingly, could it set him free from the very monarchy he spent years trying to escape? Every answer leads to another question, and every question deepens the curiosity. Harry's reaction: tears, rage, or relief? Imagine being Prince Harry for a moment. You grow up under the world's microscope, every move dissected, every expression scrutinized. You're told you're the son of Charles, the future king, and Diana, the people's princess. Then one day, a truth bomb detonates in your lap. Would you cry? Would you rage? Or would you feel oddly relieved? Because let's face it, Harry has long struggled with his royal identity. His rift with the palace, his move to California, his battles with the British press. They all point to a man trying to carve out his own story. Perhaps this DNA revelation is less of a curse and more of a twisted kind of freedom. After all, if he was never truly a Windsor, could he finally say, "I owe you nothing"? The Diana Hewitt connection. We can't tell Harry's story without telling Diana's. The late princess was magnetic, fragile, rebellious, and endlessly scrutinized. Her affair with James Hewitt was one of the worst-kept secrets of the 1990s. He was handsome, charming, and everything Charles was not. But did their romance overlap with Harry's conception? That's the million-dollar question. Diana swore it did not. Critics, however, have always raised eyebrows. The DNA report reignites the fire. Was Diana shielding Harry with a white lie? Or was the timing of her relationship with Hewitt truly after Harry's birth, as she insisted? No matter the answer, one thing is certain. Diana's shadow looms large over this revelation. The palace in crisis. Buckingham Palace thrives on control, image, and tradition. A scandal of this magnitude isn't just a tabloid nightmare. It's a constitutional crisis. If Harry is not Charles's biological son, what does that mean for the monarchy's legitimacy? Does it matter since the line of succession has already moved to William and his children? Or does the very idea of an illegitimate prince erode the mystique that holds the monarchy together? The palace has been silent so far, but silence in the world of royalty speaks volumes. William's dilemma: brother or stranger? Prince William has always been the heir, Harry the spare. Their bond, sometimes close, sometimes fractured, has defined much of modern royal storytelling. But what happens when DNA draws a line between them? If William is the true Windsor and Harry is Hewitt's son, are they still brothers in the eyes of history? Or does brotherhood transcend biology? For William, this revelation could either harden his heart or soften it. After all, Harry may not share his bloodline, but he shared Diana's love, and that might matter more than DNA. Meghan Markle's reaction: a twist of fate. And what about Meghan? For years, critics accused her of marrying into royalty for status and titles. But if Harry is not a Windsor by blood, does that turn the narrative on its head? Suddenly, Meghan isn't the outsider who broke into the royal fortress. She's the partner of a man who never truly belonged there in the first place. In a strange twist of fate, this revelation could vindicate Meghan more than anyone else. James Hewitt, the man in the shadows. Then there's James Hewitt himself, the man at the center of decades of gossip. Once vilified, once adored, now thrust back into the spotlight. What does he think of all this? Regret? Relief? Or perhaps quiet satisfaction that the truth, if it is indeed the truth, has finally emerged? Hewitt has lived a relatively quiet life in recent years, avoiding the glare of publicity. But this DNA result could drag him back into the center of a media hurricane. A royal line redrawn. If these DNA results hold true, the implications stretch far beyond Harry. They ripple through history, rewriting the story of the Windsors, the monarchy, and the very notion of legitimacy. Does blood define royalty? Or is it duty, tradition, and the weight of a crown? These questions are not just about Harry, they're about the monarchy itself. The public reacts. Sympathy or scandal? The British public has a complicated relationship with Harry. Some see him as a rebel, others as a traitor. Some admire his courage, others resent his choices. Now, with this revelation, the public faces a new dilemma. Do they sympathize with a man who never asked for this truth? Or do they label him as the scandal that just won't quit? Public opinion could swing either way, and the debate is only just beginning. Conclusion: a story that changes everything. Whether you believe the DNA results or not, one thing is undeniable. This story has changed the conversation. Harry is no longer just the spare, the rebel prince, or Meghan's controversial husband. He is now the man caught in a storm of heritage, love, betrayal, and truth. And maybe, just maybe, that makes him more relatable than ever. Because at the end of the day, haven't we all wondered where we truly come from? Haven't we all wrestled with identity, legacy, and the chains of family expectation? Harry's story is royal, but it is also deeply human. Call to action. What do you think? Does DNA define destiny? Or does love and upbringing matter more than bloodlines? Share your thoughts in the comments, pass this article along, and let's keep the conversation alive. Because one thing is certain. Whether prince or not, Harry's story has only just begun. The night the royal world stopped. London is no stranger to scandals. From Shakespearean betrayals in the Tower of London to whispered affairs in palace hallways, history has proven that the monarchy is never far from drama. But this revelation is different. The evening was ordinary enough. The city lights sparkled, double-decker buses rolled across Westminster Bridge, and tourists lined up outside Buckingham Palace for that perfect nighttime selfie. Yet, behind the palace's gilded gates, something was brewing. A document, simple, clinical, and impossible to ignore, was quietly handed over to the press. Its contents? A DNA result suggesting with near certainty that Prince Harry's biological father was not King Charles III, but James Hewitt. The same James Hewitt who once had a very public relationship with Princess Diana. The same James Hewitt whose resemblance to Harry has been the subject of whispers for decades. The same James Hewitt that Diana swore had nothing to do with Harry's conception. And just like that, a story that had lived in the shadows for 30 years burst into the light, dragging the House of Windsor into yet another storm. Why the rumor never died. Let's be honest. The whispers about Harry's paternity have never truly gone away. Even in the 1990s, side-by-side comparisons between Harry and James Hewitt circulated in tabloids like wildfire. Harry's red hair, his cheeky grin, his military posture. All were fuel for endless speculation. Royal watchers noted that William looked like Charles. But Harry? Harry was different. Diana, with her usual grace, addressed it head-on. She insisted that her affair with Hewitt began only after Harry was born. The palace echoed her words, dismissing the rumors as cruel gossip designed to destabilize the monarchy. And yet, the idea lingered. Why? Because it was just too perfect, too cinematic, too scandalous. We love stories where secrets hide in plain sight, where the spare prince isn't just a spare. He's not even a true prince at all. But until now, it was all speculation. Now, with DNA evidence, allegedly, pointing directly at Hewitt, speculation has turned into something far more dangerous. Possible truth. DNA, the silent judge. Science is a cold, unforgiving thing. DNA doesn't care about crowns, titles, or centuries of tradition. It doesn't bow to kings or curtsy to queens. It simply tells the truth. According to the leaked results, the match between Harry and James Hewitt is 99.9%. If real, this isn't just a family secret. It's a constitutional bombshell. Think about it. The British monarchy's strength lies in bloodlines. The idea that every king and queen is linked to those who came before, a golden chain of heritage stretching back centuries. If Harry isn't Charles's son, that chain is broken. So what does that mean? Does Harry lose his titles? His place in the line of succession already low, but symbolic? Does it retroactively taint Diana's legacy? Does it matter at all, given that William and his children already secure the monarchy's future? Or, and here's the biggest twist, could this revelation actually set Harry free? Harry's struggle with identity. Prince Harry has always been the rebel royal. From teenage scandals in Las Vegas to fiery speeches against the British press, Harry has worn his heart on his sleeve while railing against the very system that defined him. His departure from the UK with Meghan Markle wasn't just a move. It was an escape, a rejection of tradition, a declaration of independence. And yet, no matter how far he ran, one thing tethered him to the palace: blood. He was still a Windsor, still the son of Charles, still Diana's boy. But now, if the DNA test is true, that tether may be cut. And for Harry, that might be the ultimate irony. The scandal that destroys the monarchy's illusion could be the same one that liberates him completely. Imagine Harry looking at that test result, whispering to himself, "So I was never truly one of them. No wonder I never fit in." Would he cry, rage, or smile at the cruel poetry of it all? Diana and Hewitt, the love that shook the palace. To understand this story, we need to revisit the 1980s and 90s. Princess Diana was the most photographed woman in the world. Beautiful, compassionate, and deeply lonely. Her marriage to Charles was famously fraught with tension, infidelity, and heartbreak. Enter James Hewitt. A cavalry officer, handsome and attentive, Hewitt became Diana's riding instructor, and eventually, her lover. Their romance was intense, passionate, and, for a time, secret. But here's the key detail. Diana swore that her relationship with Hewitt began only in 1986, 2 years after Harry's birth. Harry was born in 1984. If true, Diana's words should have ended the speculation. But skeptics noted the uncanny resemblance and refused to let the story die. Now, with DNA claiming to prove otherwise, Diana's words are being revisited. Was she protecting Harry? Protecting herself? Or was the timing simply what she said all along? Coincidence? The tragedy is that Diana is not here to defend herself, to clarify, or to protect her son from the tidal wave of speculation now crashing around him. The palace in panic. Buckingham Palace has survived abdications, divorces, affairs, and even Netflix dramatizations. But this could eclipse them all. If Harry is Hewitt's son, the monarchy faces a nightmare scenario.